प्रमाणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तं देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय गुरवे शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादी नगेन्द्रसङ्घपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधां बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततं पूर्णाय बोधात्मने। वासुदेवेन्द्रयोगीन्द्रं नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुं मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधो विधीयते। So Sat is that which is uninfluenced by time, which means that which is unmodifying, unchanging, changeless, not conditioned by time. That is Sat. What is Chit? Chit Kim? Sadhanantara Nairapekshena Swayam Prakashamanataya Itara Padartha Avabhasakam Yad Tachit. Now this is not Chitta, this is Chit. Okay? That's why when we make lazy pronunciations and half pronunciations, then Chitta will also be said as Chit. Chit is consciousness and Chitta is a function of mind, where all the impressions get stored and they are jerked out in form of memory. Memory has a lot of work to do, and that is Chitta. So Chitta, this is Chit. Chit Kim, what is Chit? Consciousness. And the word consciousness, awareness is liberally used everywhere, because we say political consciousness, environmental consciousness, then you have spiritual consciousness, Krishna consciousness. All these words are used. In this, consciousness is common. So now we are going to use the word consciousness, which really speaking is knowledge. Just as the word consciousness has gone down into our system as information about some object. I am conscious, politically conscious. This is his political consciousness. And he doesn't want to throw the plastic, use the plastic, because there is environmental consciousness. So thus we find that the word consciousness is also used to imply information. Okay? Some active information. Active information, consciousness, knowledge. So also the word knowledge is used as information. I know the address. I know the answer to this question. I know the telephone number. I know where this material can be purchased from. Information. I know what are other people doing in the office. Information is also used. Knowledge is meant as information. Consciousness is also used as information. Now, basically we have to understand this. There is a little difference. And that little difference is because little is big, small is big. They say, right? Small is big. It is vast, really. Knowledge means, here by this definition, sadhanantara nairapekshena. Now, in order to know the pot, we require several means to the system, the machinery to operate. Okay. Several things are required. So, unless and until the eyes are functional and in adequate light contacting the object, the pot cannot be known. So the first thing is one has to have functional set of eyes. Chakshurindriya should be there. Then the second thing is that one needs to have the mind behind the eyes also available, because several times it does happen that you are looking with your eyes which are healthy and they are open, the light is also adequate, but if the mind is wandering away, one is lost, then some person also passes in front of you, he waves the hand and then you look, but he does not get registered. Then what the other person says, look here, he has become so arrogant. The other day I was calling out to him, I waved at him and he just ignored me. Not ignored. Though the eyes were there, healthy eyes, yet the mind behind the eyes was not operative. Then the mind requires to be there supporting the eyes. There is still more, that some idea of what is pot has to be there. That knowledge has to be there of ghatatvam. Now, when you are able to spot the quality, that potness in the object, now you call it, this is a pot. See? So, chitta also has to function. So, you require such a system in order, aligned with each other, just for knowledge, this simple knowledge to take place. I am ghataha. This is a pot. Now look. Several objects are registered in such short span of time. Paper, the wooden table, the couch, the carpet, the cloth. It means that how much the system is efficiently working. And unless and until all of these parts are sitting together, aligned and coordinating with each other, the knowledge cannot take place. Correct? So all these things, equipments, are sadhanas. The eyes are an equipment, the mind is an equipment, the chitta is an equipment. All these equipments, tools need to be there, aligned and available and aligned. Something happens and the memory is lost, some amnesia. Hey, you can't recognize this is a pot. Correct? So chitta also needs to be there, properly working. That is what happened to that fellow, right? Avishyan Shakuntalam. This king marries Shakuntala, Dushyanta. And she is just a forest dweller, simple girl. Shakuntala. And this Shakuntala was given a ring by the king. He says that this is my royal, what do they call it? Seal. Huh? क्या बोल रहे? Stamp, seal. In the olden days, how they used to seal. The king would dip his ring and then seal. Chops. In Hong Kong, they call it chop. Seal. So this was given to Shakuntala to wear. He says, wear this. And if you have this, and join me in my capital, in the palace, as soon as possible. I have to leave. So they get married, committed to each other in the forest through Gandharva Vivaha. Okay. And so he tells her that if you show the seal to anybody in the kingdom or to the guards or anyone, you will be led into the palace without any, nobody will stop you. So Shakuntala then goes to her father, says that I have chosen this man and he has given me this ring. He is Dushyanta. Her father, according to his daughter's wish, then tells the people from that hermitage that you people go along with her and leave her at her husband's place and come back. Simple people. Then they all go, they take her up with flowers and all, and they take her to the king. But on the way, there is one more incident before that. So in the gap in between, before she leaves for the capital, Shakuntala one day is sitting and she is lost in the thoughts of Dushyanta. She is thinking about him. And one rishi with a bad temper comes over there, Durvasa. And then he says, I'm thirsty, give me water. And the Shakuntala is sitting. So Durvasa says, ignoring, neglecting, the one whom you are remembering now, he will forget you. Function of memory, right? This is my wife, I love her, forgotten, amnesia. Sharp is given. Then Shakuntala comes, oh sir, I'm sorry, when did you come? And then he comes to know he has cursed her. She says, please sir, don't do this. And then he says that, oh, this is an innocent little girl just lost in her thoughts of a lover. So, that is the age. So now whatever he must have thought. And then he says, okay, how to forgive her? He says that if he has given you any gift or anything to keep with you, if he sees that, he will remember you immediately. His memory will be retrieved. Okay.
Swamiji, they say also that that particular event was fabricated by the author to protect his hero Dushyant, Kalidasa. That was not the original event.
Who was present?
That event was fabricated by Kalidasa.
That is okay, but who was present there at the original event?
So that sharper one was fabricated by the author.
That is okay, but who was there at the original event?
No one.
So then how does he claim?
So
that is okay, but we like the story. So then Shakuntala, she is wearing the ring in her finger. Obviously it is a man's finger, and her, that king and all, he is used to doing some weights and all, fat finger. And this delicate little girl, her fingers are also, she is wearing that damru. And as they go, so they have to cross Ganga river. So all of them get down to worship Ganga, and so she does that few times. This goes down. She does not even notice that the ring has gone. And even if she did, what was she going to do now? Gone. It's river. This one Malaysian lady had come here. Then she purchased a lot of gold things, ring, necklace and all that. She purchased here only. Then she said, I will sanctify it in all Ganga water. And very intelligent, she brought a plastic mug, the bathing mug. Then she said she kept all those things inside, whatever new was purchased. Then her wedding ring, everything also she removed, kept it in that because she wants to sanctify. And very intelligent. Then she does prayer and all, and to do the prayer, she keeps that mug on the rock where the water is already, going on that rock. Then that mug is kept. Then she closes the eyes. By the time she opens, Hey, gone. My mug, my gold. And then just few feet away, the mug also is not going to stand like that. He ludak gaya, he toppled. Avijnana Shakuntalam took place there only. So gone. Then this happens. That fellow Dushyanta, now he is under the spell of that curse. He has forgotten, though he loves her very dearly and he is loyal to her. Something happens. No, disloyalty would be if he has taken some other woman, na? No, something happens to him. He is not attracted to any woman, he is disinterested and all that, everything happens. Then, so this one day, one Dhivar, the fisherman, he catches a big, not snake, fish, and he cuts it open to sell and finds that there is a gold ring in that fish. So, and of course it is carrying the king's seal, so he doesn't want to take any risk. So he goes back to the king and says that I have found your ring. No, so this Shakuntala goes over there and king refuses to recognize her. Oh, some forest girl has come and claims to be my wife that I have married. Oh, lying. And the whole council is sitting over there and Shakuntala comes with those people from the hermitage, all Rishi Kumaras and Rishi whatever those women are there, Sakhi Anusuya and all that thing. And she is badly humiliated, she is already pregnant now. And the king refuses to even recognize her because he does not even remember her name. He is not lying, he is not pretending. She looks beautiful, she looks innocent, people also feel that, this girl cannot be lying or anything. Then she tells her people, now that you have brought me here, I'm not coming back, you all go. She goes and lives in some other part of the forest. And then some years pass in between. The king just continues and does not marry. And then one day, fisherman comes with that thing and says, this belongs to you. He sees that, Shakuntala! Shakuntala. And then he remembers and he starts crying, where is Shakuntala, where is Shakuntala? And they said that Shakuntala had come. You chased her away. Oh, and then he becomes even more sad. Then there is story, if you want to know, read the book. This is Vedanta, not Abhijnana Shakuntalam. Memory has to play a part. There is memory which plays the part. So various equipments need to be aligned over there for one to have the knowledge. Sadhanas are required. Okay? So we say that knowledge takes place when we have the means. You know the part, you know you are. What equipments are required to know your own presence? Ahamasmi, I am. Even this thought I am is not required. So this knowledge about your own being is so independent that it is not a product of any equipments or their coordination. It is independent. Sadhana antara nairapekshena. There is no expectation, there is no need of any sadhanas. This knowledge is not a thought, and without this knowledge, even the thought knowledge cannot take place. It is awareness. So now we find that consciousness, which is knowledge, which means illumination. So the pot is illumined, and because the pot is illumined by the thought, we say that the thought is knowledge. So what is knowledge? That which illumines. What is knowledge? That which illumines. Now the pot is illumined because of the pot thought. And therefore you say that the pot thought is knowledge. For anything to become knowledge, what should it have? The basic quality is that it should illumine. It should illumine. Cast light on it. Okay? Illumination. The thought also is also known. Thought is also known. So that which is known is illumined by some knowledge. Otherwise, how would it become known? The pot is known. It is illumined by the thought. Thought is also known. It is also illumined by knowledge. What is it that illumines the thought? What is it that illumines the thought? The buddhi is also illumined. So this illumination is direct because I know. Consciousness, it is an object of consciousness. Whenever anything becomes an object of consciousness, it becomes known. So what is consciousness? And consciousness is known by what? Don't say the thought, because of the thought. Not because, then we would be putting the cart before the horse. Because we already have said the thought is known. Thought, it cannot become the illuminator, because presence and absence of the thought is also known. If presence and absence of the thought is not known, how would you know one object different from other object? Ghata. So ghatakara vritti, the vritti, the thought in form of pot, ghatakara. The next vritti, the next thought is patakara. So patakara vritti is not ghatakara vritti. So the absence of ghatakara vritti is also there, and that is known. So the presence and absence of thought is also known. So what is that knowledge? What is that light in which the thought also becomes illumined, becomes known? So that knowledge in which the thought is known. Now thought is not knowledge. Then why were we calling thought also as knowledge, information as knowledge? Because that information, that thought has illumined the pot. How did the thought also have the power to illumine? How did the thought illumine the pot? Thought by itself is not self-illuminous because it is known. How did the thought have the power to illumine? Just as the moon has the light. It is the reflected light of the sun in the moon which now illumines the objects on the earth. So someone asked, sun is greater or the moon? So this fellow said, moon. Why? What is the point of sun? Because during the daytime we don't require light. And sun is there. At night when everything is dark, then moon.
What age? What age?
Wait, I will have to send those people there. Read it in Balvihar. Moon is reflected light. So also the consciousness reflected in the thought now illumines the objects. So ultimately, it is the consciousness which illumines the object. But how does the consciousness illumines the pot? Through the thought. And therefore the thought is also called as knowledge, upacharena. It gets called as knowledge. And therefore, when you say information is knowledge, information gets the status of knowledge only as upachara, only as by the way, because it illumines. So what is the real meaning of knowledge? Illumination. Now, what would you mean by pure knowledge? What would you mean by pure knowledge?
I know I am.
The knowledge which has got some object in it. Pot, cloth, ghata, pata. Now this ghatajnanam is not patajnanam. The pot knowledge is not cloth knowledge. To know cloth as cloth is cloth knowledge. So you can say this is knowledge, but then now in that knowledge there is some vishaya, there is an object sitting everywhere. Where there is an object in that knowledge, then that knowledge becomes vishishta. Then it becomes qualified. Pot knowledge. Qualified as cloth knowledge. Vishishta jnanam. There is a visheshana to the knowledge. Okay? And therefore that knowledge will be called as Vishishta Jnanam. Hey, जरा तुम्हारे पास है क्या टिश्यू पेपर? लाओ यहाँ पे. So now, what would you mean by pure knowledge, unqualified knowledge? Knowledge which is not associated with any object. Consciousness. Pure knowledge. Is there a third knowledge like that, like Ghatajnanam, Patajnanam, and Shuddha Jnanam? Do you find a third object like that, a third knowledge like that? Because first two we have the Ghatajnanam is there, Patajnanam is there. But do we have a third category called as Shuddha Jnanam, pure knowledge? There is a third category. Knowledge is there, the word knowledge is there even in Ghatajnanam, in Patajnanam. Knowledge is knowledge. Knowledge is knowledge. But there is some Visheshana, there is an adjective to that knowledge. Like the adjective would be red rose, a white rose. So the word white and red are the adjectives to rose. Correct? They are adjectives to the rose. When an adjective is there along with the substantive, now it becomes qualified. Correct? It becomes qualified. With the Visheshana, it becomes Vishishta. Okay? Oh Swamiji, this is very, we thought that you will talk about some, this is how. Let us apply ourselves to it. Do not seek entertainment. Understanding is way far different than entertainment. If you are delighted with understanding, you are lucky. But if you are seeking entertainment, then the teacher or the speaker will only have to keep on telling you stories of kings and queens. Don't seek entertainment. Because a person who is seeking entertainment means that he is deeply bored. He is bored. What does entertainment do? Takes away the boredom. Oh, we are bored, let us watch TV, let us watch movie. Bored. So that person is seeking some excitement, that's it. It has got no other value than this. Except for one thing, that the other entertainment will create a negative impression, samskara. The spiritual entertainment will create another impression which is a little better off. But a teacher is not an entertainer. It is not entertaining. One day somebody asked Maharajji, when you look at your audience, what do you feel? What do you see in them? Maharajji bole, in Hindi bole, कि श्रोता प्रबुद्ध कैसे हो, ये हम सोचते हैं कि how this person who is sitting there to listen, how will he become enlightened is the concern. Not how he will feel delighted, excited, entertained. Then if entertainment is the only goal, that he likes what I say, then that he is not a teacher, he is only creating an admirer. These are the complexes that a teacher has to be free from before he comes to Vedanta. If only the teacher looks that I am saying those things and they like it, you see, then you are saying things so that it could be liked by the audience, then you have a complex, the complex of wanting to be admired. It will not be a teacher. श्रोता प्रबुद्ध कैसे हो, ये हम सोचते हैं. Even the ordinary sentences of these great teachers are very profound. You know the depth from where it comes then. So what happens now? You have Ghata Jnanam, Pata Jnanam. Red rose, white rose. What is the word red doing over there? It is qualifying the rose. The word rose. Qualifying by the virtue of becoming an adjective to the word rose. So it is an adjective, Visheshana. Now what happens to the word rose? It gets qualified by the adjective and therefore it is qualified. Okay? Vishishta. It becomes Vishishta. There is a Visheshana that makes it Vishishta. Ghata Jnanam, Pata Jnanam. In this, Jnanam is common substantive. Ghata has become the Visheshana. Pata has become the Visheshana, adjective. Ghata can be replaced by pata. Pata can be replaced by ghata. Ghata means pot. Pata means, Eric? Cloth. What is knowledge? We are not interested in knowing what is cloth knowledge, what is pot knowledge. What is knowledge? That which illumines. When you say Ghata Jnanam, you are actually asking for the object of illumination. Object of illumination, which means that object which is there in awareness, in consciousness, the content. Thought also becomes the content. So thought is not the illuminator. Thought by itself is the content, the illumined object. You have Ghata Jnanam, Pata Jnanam of two sorts, Vishishta Jnanam, but what is the knowledge of your own being? How is it? I am long, I am short, I am fair, I am dark, I am man, I am woman. I am is there, but what is Vishishta Jnanam? But all the Visheshanas which you are using as belonging to the I, we have already seen they belong to the Panchakoshas. I am hungry belongs to the pranas. What do you mean by hunger where the blood sugar goes down, the sugar level? Hunger. I am thirsty. What? The water in the blood has gone down. The proportion. thirsty. What are you talking about? You're talking about the body, the pranas. Where are you talking about I? So the I cannot be Vishishta Jnanam. Then how is this I?
Independent.
You cannot say, I don't know I am. Can anybody say, I don't know I am? There is no such experience. I don't know I am, I have to find out. Yeah? For everything, even for the denial of the self will have to become evident. Swayam Prakasha Vastu is self-illuminous. That what is sadhanantara nairapekshena. Nothing is required. Sadhana, no tools, no equipment, and yet there is illumination. That illumination which is not dependent, does not expect the presence of any system, any tool, any equipment. Sadhanantara nairapekshena swayam prakashamanataya. And now, in its presence, whether it is the thought or the object contacted by the thought, everything gets illumined. That illumination in which the thought is illumined, the thought illumines the indriyas illumine their objects. Now the whole world is there. And that thought means buddhi, ahankara, chitta, everything together. Even the ego is illumined. Then sadhanantara nairapekshena swayam prakashamanataya, that which is self-illumined. Taya itara padarthavabhasakam yat, that which is like this is chit. What is now whatever you have the meaning of the word chit, knowledge. Find out where does this word lead you to. Let us say in childhood, when you went to the kindergarten, they used to match the columns. Do you remember the first exercise of match the columns? Was they would put cat, mat, cow, dog, and then there used to be these pictures, right? Then you had to draw an arrow. Cat is those who did not know, then we used to do 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay. And then at the end, pray. Okay. Match the columns. So, we have, let us say, 10 different animals standing in row. Then when I use the word cow, where does this word lead you to? Exactly, to that animal. Correct? Like that, now chit means sadhanantara nairapekshena swayam prakashamanataya itara padarthavabhasakam. So now there are about 3 parts to the definition. In your book, only 2 parts are there. 3 दल है इसको. Okay? कितने दल है? 3. 3 petals, 3 parts. The first one is sadhanantara nairapeksha. The second part is swayam prakasha. The third part is itara padarthavabhasakam. Okay? Itara means other. Padartha is object. Avabhasanam means illumination. Now let us examine every part of the definition. Every part of this definition. Itara padartha avabhasakam. Itara means the other. Padartha is avabhasanam, and avabhasakam means illuminator. You're okay with this? We can go ahead. Illumination is taking place. So illuminator is there, whatsoever it is. What is illumined? Some object is illumined. Which object is illumined? That which is other than itself. So if it was said that the meaning of word chit is that which illumines the other object, now only this much definition would become a lame definition, inadequate. It will become inadequate definition. Why? Why? Because even the indriyas illumine. The ears will illumine sounds. The touch, tactual faculty will illumine the various sensations, rough and smooth and so on and so forth. So there is avabhasakatvam even in the indriyas, and they illumine their objects, their respective objects. So itara padartha avabhasakatvam is there in the indriyas. If the definition was only going to be limited to this dala, to this part, itara padartha avabhasakam, the problem would be we wanted to show you chit but ended up showing you indriyas. Did we reach the lakshya? Did we reach where we intended to take you? No. And therefore, if the definition has only this part, it would become insufficient. Got it? So now we have to add something more. And that is sadhanantara nairapekshena avabhasakatvam. It is illuminous. There is avabhasakatvam. Sadhanantara nairapekshena swayam prakashamana. It is illumined, but how? not by anything else. Sir, if it is not illumined by something, how is it possible that it is known? So we say self-illuminous. Is there anything else which is self-illuminous? Is there anything else which is self-illuminous? No. And therefore the Veda says, Kaivalya Shruti is there, Na tatra suryo bhati, na chandra tarakam, nema vidyuto bhanti, kuto yamagnihi, tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam, tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. By the light of which everything else gets illumined. But we find that objects are illumined by the sun. When sun is not there, moon. When moon is not there on the dark night, the taras, the stars, and even when the stars are covered on a dark, cloudy night, suddenly there is a flash of the lightning and things are illumined momentarily. So even the lightning, na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam, na ima vidyuto bhanti, the vidyut also. Then, sir, how tameva bhantam, whether it is the sun, moon, stars or the lightning, everything is illumined. Even the sun, moon is also illumined. By whom? By that. Tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. Which is this light? That light which is not dependent on anything, Swayam Prakash. So now that Chit is this consciousness in which everything, including the Ahankar, is illumined. Now allow this word to take you as far as possible. So what is the meaning of word consciousness? Swayam Prakash. Okay? Because different people use the same word in English for different reasons. For some people, consciousness means some information, for political consciousness. For some people, consciousness would mean some conscience kind of a thing. Righteousness. For some people, consciousness would mean just ghata jnanam, pata jnanam.
Discernment.
Different implications. So now we are saying, what is the meaning of word consciousness that we are using the word consciousness to mean? Swayam Prakash Vastu. Now, that which is dependent on some other light for it to become evident, then it is not Swayam Prakash. Rejected. Finally, what is it that is Swayam Prakash? What is that light? What is that? That which is not dependent is what I am. Therefore, I is not something which is known because of anything. Everything else is known because of the self. If you say, I am known because of my work, you have denied the Swayam Prakashata. I am known because of my oratory, gone. I am known because I have money, no. I am known because I'm beautiful, I'm ugly or whatever, gone. You have not come to the meaning of word I. You have not come to the meaning of word I. In fact, the confusion exists. Okay? Tarhi Atma Kim? Satchidanandaha Suchid Vastu is Atma. That what is? Itara sadhana nairapekshena swayam prakashamanataya itara padarthavabhasakam yat tat chit. Okay.
Somebody you were saying that I is never the doer, yet consciousness illumines. It was
Yes.
an action.
Nice question. So it appears as if there is an action of illumination. Correct? So
Everything else
is
now.
doing. So Atma is doing the illumination. Illumination is not the action done by Atma. Now understand the difference. When we say, I am walking, an action done? Okay. An action done. It is done and therefore can be said, I am walking. I walk. He walks. Atma illumines, or Atma is illumining the world. So obviously looks like an action done, like he is walking or he walks. Correct? But he can be even without walking. Correct? He can sit down quietly, at least few moments, without shaking his legs. So, we can find this man without walking, without that action. So, this action is not his nature. Is not his nature.
Is it that by its own presence, by Atma's presence, illumination takes place?
It is, because it is the nature. So when it is the nature, there is nothing done. It is not done. It is not an action.
So the fire is hitting us, but it's not actually hitting us. The
Exactly. This is the way we speak the language. There is no action. And that's why there is no action in the self. The self is nishkriya. If there is any kriya, if there is any action, if there is a kriya, the kriya would mean there is vikriya. There is modification. That modification means deterioration. And that deterioration would mean ultimately perish, to perish.
subject to change entirely.
So it means that will be destroyed. The final change is destruction. Asti jayate vardhate viparinamate vinashyati. Gone. And therefore, there is no Kriya. Even illumination is not the Kriya. What is then illumination? Jnanam over here is the nature. Can use that word also. It is not a Kriya. So knowledge is not Kriya. Not Kriya. Okay? Very good point. Knowledge is not Kriya. Nishkriyaha. Swayam Prakash. Okay? This is how, as far as that word can take you, and ultimately you will, one discovers it ends. The meaning of that is aham, that I. Now, in order to ascertain aham swayam prakashaha would mean that you have already dropped all the other misconceptions. Aham dehaha, aham puman, aham striti are dropped. And therefore now there is aham swayam prakasha vastu nishkriyaha. Okay? So, enough for now. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaha Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha.